Registered Phenomena Code 418. Object Class Alpha Red. Hazard Types: Aggression, Sapient, Contact, Extra-dimensional, Mind Control. Containment Protocols: RPC-418 is to be contained within an anomalous item locker when not in use. Long-term containment of RPC-418 requires moisture removers to prevent any potential damage. All testing on RPC-418 must be approved by at least 2 senior researchers. Personnel interacting with RPC-418 are to be given a file containing the rule set, and must be capable of speaking Latin. Activation of RPC-418 is to occur in a soundproof testing chamber, completed with an observation deck, outfitted with a one-way mirror and recording equipment. When active, a game of RPC-418 is not to be disturbed. All video recordings of RPC-418 during activation periods are to be collected and analyzed for any deviation from the currently understood rule set. See Addendum 1. Description: the designation RPC-418 refers to a set of 49 woodcut playing cards, measuring 5.1 cm in width and 10.2 cm in length, originating from 16th century Venice, modern-day Italy. While similar in design to the Italian tarotnico, the imagery printed on cards does not match any found within the medieval historical and archaeological records. Trick-taking card game. The deck consists of 4 suits, cups, coins, clubs, and swords, of non-anomalous numerical cards labeled 1 through 9. The deck also contains 13 additional cards, termed fate cards by the Latin writing found on their bottom, whose anomalous properties manifest only while interacting with RPC-418, according to its rule set. The fate cards have both a gameplay purpose and act as punishments for failing to participate in the core stack building element of RPC-418. RPC-418 is meant to be played like a card game for 2 to 4 individuals. The rule set is presumed to be comprehended by the research staff. When RPC-418 is removed from its ornate wooden casing, RPC-418-1 manifests. RPC-418-1 is a humanoid creature, roughly 1.6 meters in height, dressed in jester motley, similar to the ones worn by 16th century harlequins. Comic servant characters from the Italian Commedia dell'arte. Once victorious in a game of RPC-418, a subject will replace the current instance of RPC-418-1. RPC-418 will manifest only one instance of RPC-418-1 at any given time, relinquishing its control over the previous host. All anomalous properties of a subject are neutralized once their RPC-418-1 classification is lost. RPC-418-1 is sapient and fluent in Renaissance Latin. Other languages spoken by a subject before reclassification as RPC-418-1 are not expressed. Upon manifestation, RPC-418-1 will offer to participate in a game of RPC-418 with those nearby, playing with only 3 individuals at any given time. Should a person refuse to play, the attitude of RPC-418-1 will become hostile, provoking the entity to bludgeon the offender with its wooden club. Long periods of being unable to find suitable players will result in the mental health of RPC-418-1 rapidly deteriorating, prompting the entity to attempt self-termination in order to demanifest. Should a person accept the play, RPC-418-1 will become pleased and find a suitable nearby surface to deal the cards so that a game of RPC-418 can begin. RPC-418-1 seems to put the game of RPC-418 above all else, as exemplified by its desires to activate its harmful effects, even if the said activation could result in damage to itself or others. RPC-418-1 has proven to be immune to all methods of fatality resulting from RPC-418's bait cards, although bodily deterioration resulting from its anomalous effect has been noted. Counters used to indicate a player's resources, termed ducats by RPC-418-1, bear the appearance of golden coins used for trade in the Italian peninsula during the late Middle Ages. While not contained within the ornate wooden container of RPC-418, RPC-418-1 will provide the ducats from a red pouch located underneath its headgear. Should a subject attempt to use illegitimate methods to gain an advantage, disturb, openly criticize, surrender, or otherwise disregard the rules of RPC-418, RPC-418-1 will become hostile and attempt to clobber the offender to death. If the subject is capable of fighting off the attacker, RPC-418-1 can be terminated by conventional means. Once terminated, an instance of RPC-418-1 will demanifest, and manifest again once RPC-418 is interacted with. While RPC-418-1 can recall prior players of RPC-418, it is either unwilling or incapable of recalling itself ever being terminated. Addendum 1. Rule Set Number 418. December 1961. Version 1.2.2. Clearance Level 2. Compiled by Dr. Constantin. Revision 1.2.2. RPC-418. Alternative Title: Zanni's Game. Players 2 to 4. Setup: all players are dealt 6 cards, alongside 3 ducats. Hand limit: 7. Synopsis: RPC-418 is a card game based on stack building. The goal is not to be the player who lost 5 individual rounds. Rules: each turn, a player draws 1 card and earns 1 ducat. Going clockwise from the holder, players take turns building stacks of cards. RPC-418-1. Using the standard numbered cards of the 4 suits, cups, coins, clubs, and swords, the first player begins by placing a card alongside 1 ducat on it. This first card dictates the pile suit. The second player can then place a card of higher value from the same suit onto the pile, also playing 1 ducat, or playing one of the 13 bait cards. Playing a card from a different suit is possible, only if its value is 1 or 2 lower than the current top card. This continues, with each player adding 1 ducat alongside an appropriate card. There is also an option for the other players to start a secondary stack during their turn, as long as the total number of card stacks does not exceed 2, following the same rules as the first. During their turn, a player can contribute to one or both as their standard move. Once the player who placed the largest card in the stack begins their turn, they gather all the ducats and cards composing it before drawing further cards from the deck. If a hand limit is exceeded, additional cards chosen by them are shuffled back into the pile. If a player is unable to contribute to either deck, they must play a bait card. During their turn, additionally to making a standard game move, the participants may trade cards. Precisely 3 cards must be exchanged during a single trade, with both participants agreeing on the terms before the exchange. The terms of the trade may only be decided without any of the cards being revealed. Both trading partners may attempt to replace one card they offer with another one not agreed upon in the trade. If a player has less than 3 cards, they may not participate. Every round won by a player, be it through achieving a victory, or all the other participants a loss condition, all the held and stacked cards are shuffled back into the deck and redealt as per the setup rules, as are the ducats. Loss conditions: if a player can neither contribute to one of the 2 stacks, nor play a bait card, they lose. If a player suffers from a lethal injury induced by one of the 13 fate cards, they lose. Note: debilitating injuries are not treated as a loss condition. Refusal to continue the game at RPC-418 is seen as a surrender. Victory conditions. There are a few ways of achieving victory in RPC-418. Holding the Sun card alongside 10 ducats. Holding the Moon and the Sun simultaneously. Blocking the other players from contributing to the stacks, forcing them to either 1. Play a fate card, resulting in either death or severe bodily harm. 2. Trigger the defeat condition. Endgame. For every round of the game won by a player, they earn 1 of 5 points necessary for victory. In tallying the scores, each point is treated as an individual letter of the word Zanni. The victor is declared Zanni by RPC-418-1. Fate cards. Card classification. Key. The card is used for achieving victory. Beneficial. The card grants its user an advantage. Harmful. The card will either harm or debilitate its user without posing a threat of fatality. Deadly. The card has a chance of causing a fatality, but death is avoidable. Mortal. The card will result in certain death. The Sun. Key. Features a depiction of a yellow sun with a human face. Holding this card alongside 10 ducats results in victory condition. When played, due to the user being unable to contribute to the stacks, the card is shuffled back into the deck. The Moon. Key. Features a depiction of a blue moon with a human face. Holding this card alongside the Sun results in victory condition. When played, due to the user being unable to contribute to the stacks, the card is shuffled back into the deck. The Fool. Featured a depiction of a headless jester holding out a big sign to the viewer. A mildly obscene gesture. This card may be given to another player, as long as doing so does not exceed their hand limit, possibly locking them from drawing further cards. The Doctor. Beneficial. Features depiction of a 14th century plague doctor. When played, the subject is cured of all ailments caused by any previous cards. The Angel. Beneficial. Features a biblical depiction of an angelic being, as described in Ezekiel 1:10. As for the form of their faces, each had the face of a man. All 4 had the face of a lion on the right, and the face of a bull on the left, and all 4 had the face of an eagle. When played, the target must discard another fate card. The Shining One. Harmful. Features a humanoid interpretation of Lucifer. In Christian mythology, Lucifer is a fallen angel who rebelled against God in an attempt to become equal to God himself. When played, the subject becomes instantly blinded through the destruction of the retina, similar to the one caused by overexposure to UV light. Accounts of the survivors describe themselves looking directly into the center of a star. The Thief. Harmful. Depicting the process of a thief getting their hand amputated by a saber, akin to medieval punishment. When played, the subject gains all ducats from one of the players, while losing either hand, depending on which was used to grab the ducats. The hand is cut cleanly around the wrist by unseen force, leaving a dated wound. When the owner possesses neither hand, the card cannot be played, and is inert. The Pestilence. Deadly. Features a 14th century plague victim on his deathbed. When played, the subject becomes infected with a strain of bubonic plague, and immediately displays the symptoms of his late stage, including vomiting blood, acute fever, and swollen lymph nodes. The Inferno. Deadly. Features a depiction of flames surrounding a distressed king, possibly alluding to Constantine XI Palaiologos. Emperor of the Byzantine Empire, from 1449 to 1453. When played, the subject is immediately set aflame. Although often capable of extinguishing themselves, the subjects are left with various second and third degree burns. The Pack, Deadly, features a depiction of a woman holding a child surrounded by a pack of 5 black wolves. When played, 5 adult members of the Canis lupus italicus manifest within proximity. A subspecies of grey wolf native to the Italian peninsula. They will attempt to subdue and consume the user while acting docile toward all other lifeforms. When a game concludes, their docile nature is replaced with standard behavior. While it is theoretically possible for the subject to fight off the beast, other players interfering is against the rules. The Knight, Deadly. Card features a depiction of an eyeless rider atop a skeleton steed. When played, the subject is bound to a manifested wooden pallet and tied to an animated skeletal horse, akin to the one displayed on the card, akin to the medieval torture method. Hanged, drawn, and quartered were the torture method used after the Treason Act of 1351 in England. The convicted traitor was fastened to a hurdle, or a wooden panel, and drawn by a horse to the place of execution. Once bound, the manifested figure will begin to gather speed before finally fading out of the baseline reality. After roughly 10 seconds, the rider will reappear with the user's body before dropping it onto the ground and demanifesting. Severe signs of starvation, broken bones, and internal bleeding have been noted following an autopsy. Aside from physical damage, emotional trauma related to the incident is often present. The chance of any given individual surviving the process depends on their stamina and build. Accounts of the survivors describe themselves being dragged through a dark pine forest for 6 days straight. While no food was provided, the manifested figure quenched them with a mixture of vinegar and water. The Tassel Worm, Mortal, features a lizard-like creature with the face of a cat. When played, the subject's veins become filled with roughly 210 milligrams of zootoxin, similar to the one produced by Vipera aspis, a venomous viper species found in southwestern Europe. This is often followed by death from blood coagulation. All currently available antitoxins have proven ineffective. The Chimera, Mortal, featured a depiction of Chimera from Greek mythology. A monstrous fire-breathing hybrid creature of Lycia and Asia Minor, composed of the parts of more than one animal. When played, the subject will transform into a seemingly arbitrary collage of human, goat, lion, and snake. Failure of bodily functions, due to the ineffectiveness of the amalgamated internal organs, precedes death, caused by a variety of means. Those range from asphyxiation, caused by faulty respiratory arrangement, to ruptured organs. Addendum 2. Incident Number 418. July 2002. Clearance Level 2. Date: July blank, 2002. Background: RPC-418-1 won all of its 7 approved matches of RPC-418, making some believe that the entity had psychokinetic properties, which made it impossible for RPC-418-1 to lose through consistently favorable card arrangement. Dr. Robinson proposed to gather a team of 3 CSD personnel with an extensive understanding of the game theory of RPC-418 to disprove this hypothesis. The proposal was approved by Dr. while simultaneously taking part in a 1-month beginner Latin course. CSD-0320, CSD-0322, and CSD-0329 mastered RPC-418 through a series of simulated games. At the same time, they practiced tactics of achieving cooperation without enraging RPC-418-1 through allegations of cheating. Dr. Robinson concluded that since the entity originating from the 16th century, it should have no prior knowledge of the Morse code, using which coordination could be achieved. Incident: CSD-0322 emerged victorious through the sacrifice of both CSD-0320 and CSD-0329. While it was speculated that RPC-418-1 would enter its enraged state, it instead appeared pleased by the result. Jumping onto the table, RPC-418-1 loudly addressed CSD-0322 as Zanni, repeatedly. Roughly 15 seconds after its victory, CSD-0322 was recorded disappearing from the testing chamber, while the instance of RPC-418-1 transformed into a Mediterranean male in his 30s. The then unidentified man wore late medieval merchant clothing and spoke in Renaissance Latin, although most of his initial dialogue was unintelligible. The subject displayed signs of emotional distress, and was tranquilized while attempting to destroy RPC-418. An official interview was requested by Dr. Robinson. Addendum 3. Interview number 418. July 2002. Clearance Level 3. Interviewee: Priori Marino. Interviewer: Eliza Lane, Ph.D. Forward. The interview with the then unidentified man, originating from Incident Number 418, July 2002, was performed by researcher Eliza Lane. The transcript was translated from Renaissance Latin. Begin log. Lane: Good morning. My name is Eliza Lane. To begin with, may I ask what of your name? Marino: Hail. My name is Priori Marino. I understand that you are a physician, correct? In a way, yes. I am a philologist. I apologize for the delay. We struggled to find anyone capable of speaking Renaissance Latin. Renaissance Latin? I am not certain what you mean. I understand you are more familiar with Church's Latin, yes? Actually, I mainly speak English. At work, that is. Ah. Queen's English is a troublesome language. In truth, I am more familiar with Spanish. Okay. This should make further interaction easier. Now, Sir Marino, could you please tell me about yourself? My circumstances are quite strange. A catacomb of porcelain. A physician of the fair sex. Oh, I wish I could recall, but my mind is cloudy, and family pedigree back in Palermo. Palermo? That's Sicily, correct? Indeed. I was born as the son of Fulgencio, under King Philip II. My father was a merchant, and I do believe that's all I can recall. Oh, how I used to cling onto those memories while trapped, and now they are gone. I see. Now, Sir Marino, have you ever seen this object? Presents a picture of RPC-418. The thing of the devil! Oh, what a fool Francesco was! Francesco? Was he an acquaintance? A fiend. He was a fiend! A fiend with the devil's personal deck. Was he the one that introduced you to this deck? Yes! The traitor Francesco introduced me to this cursed game, while I had business in Venice. He offered me a game, and I won. But that snake tricked me, freeing his son while placing me under the curse. So you replaced his son. Does this mean that CSD… the player replaced you? It does appear so. Poor Sir CSD. I pray that God will forgive me for placing his poor soul in the hands of the devil. The subject assumed that CSD-0322 was a name, rather than a designation. I understand. While trapped, did you have any autonomy? Were you aware of your surroundings? Faintly, as if looking through stained glass. I knew that I had to find someone to play this cursed game, so that I could be free. On several occasions, I tried giving up, but the devil would not allow this. I always needed to be better, until someone more skilled came. This thing. It gave me great affliction of the mind. Are you capable of recalling this devil? Did it speak to you? I dare not speak! I dared not! End log. Closing statement. RPC-418 has been reclassified as a mind control hazard. The containment protocol was altered, so that further testing requires the approval of 2 senior researchers. Priori Marino was moved to a standard holding cell. Further requests for an interview with Mr. Marino must be approved by the Office of Anthropology. Addendum 4. Dr. Robinson's Proposal, Number 418, July 2002, Clearance Level 4. July 2002, 12:29, from Martin.Robinson at Authority.RPC. Subject: RPC-418 Testing Proposal. I understand the containment protocol revision put in place after the incident, but I insist on being permitted to continue my experiment. The main issue with the lack of results is not incompetence on my or the trained CSD personnel's part, but rather the fact that RPC-418-1 began assaulting the trained CSD personnel after coordination through Morse code was attempted. I also agree that the deaths of 10 of 12 CSD personnel during 4 testing groups might seem disproportionately large, but I am in no way disregarding our human resources. Whether this newfound understanding was caused by its defeat during my initial testing, or fragmented memory of CSD-0322 is unknown. Recent findings suggest that methods such as verbal steganography can and will be comprehended once RPC-418-1 sees them as a danger to the integrity of RPC-418. This, combined with the fact that RPC-418-1 has improved its overall performance in the game, will make further extraction difficult unless the proper methodology is devised. It had consistently won every single matchup since the absorption of CSD-0322, despite oftentimes unfavorable initial starting conditions. Sometimes, I really do think that RPC-418-1 is psychokinetic and puts on a facade. That being said, I believe the entity must be explored further. For this reason, another CSD personnel must be transformed into an instance of RPC-418-1. If the retrieval process is quick, not only should their memory allow us to more reliably record the experience of transformation and the subject's state of consciousness while RPC-418 remains inactive, but the identity of the Devil, as described by Mr. Marino, proposed the designation RPC-418-2, should become clear. For this, I request another team of 3 CSD personnel, and funding, akin to the one exhausted during my initial testing. Respectfully, Dr. Robinson. Denied until further notice.